One of my favourite poems is written by Roald Dahl, who's one of my favourite authors, and this poem is called Little Red Riding Hood. It's a little bit different to the story you're probably familiar with, but I hope you enjoy listening to this alternative version of the fairy tale. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp white teeth, the horrid grin. And Wolfie said, "May I come in?" Poor Grandmamma was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmamma was small and tough, and Wolfie wailed, "That's not enough. I haven't yet begun to feel that I have had a decent meal." He ran around the kitchen yelping, "I've got to have a second helping," then added with a frightful leer, "I'm therefore going to wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the wood." He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat. He put on shoes, and after that he even brushed and curled his hair, then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped. She stared. And then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma!" "All the better to hear you with," the wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," the wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought, "I'm going to eat this child. Compared with her old Grandmamma, she's going to taste like caviar." Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Grandma, what a lovely great big furry coat you have on." "That's wrong," cried Wolf. "Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got?" "Ah, well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway." The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few weeks later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. She said, "Hello, and do please note my lovely, furry, wolfskin coat."
To begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black, the cobble streets silent and the hunched quarters and rabbit's wood limping invisible down to the slow black, crow black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles, though moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles, or blind as Captain Cat there in the muffled middle by the pump and the town clock, the shops in mourning, the welfare hall in widow's weeds, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now. Hush! The babies are sleeping, the farmers, the fishers, the tradesmen and pensioners, cobbler, school teacher, postman and publican, the undertaker and the fancy woman, drunkard, dressmaker, preacher, policeman, the web-foot cockle-woman, and the tidy wives. Young girls lie bedded soft or glide in their dreams, with rings and trousseau, bridesmaided by glowworms down the aisles of the organ-playing wood. The boys are dreaming wicked, or of the bucking ranches of the night and the jolly Rogered sea. And the anthracite statues of the horses sleep in the fields and the cows in the byres, and the dogs in the wet-nosed yards, and the cats nap in the slant corners, or lope sly, streaking and needling on the one cloud of the roofs. You can hear the dew falling and the hushed town breathing. Only your eyes are unclosed, to see the black and folded town fast and slow asleep. And you alone can hear the invisible starfall, the darkest before dawn minutely dew-grey stir of the black, dab-filled sea, where the Arethusa, the curlew, and the skylark, Zanzibar, Rhiannon, the rover, the cormorant, and the star of Wales tilt and ride. Listen, it is night moving in the streets, the processional, salt, slow, musical wind in Coronation Street and Cockle Row. It is the grass growing on Llalegeb Hill, dewfall, starfall, the sleep of birds in Milkwood. Listen, it is night in the chill, squat chapel, hymning in bonnet and brooch and bombazine black, butterfly choker and bootlace bow, coughing like nanny goats, sucking mintoes, 40 winking hallelujah. Night in the 4 ale, quiet as a domino, in Ocky milkman's lofts like a mouse with gloves, in Dye Bread's bakery flying like black flour. It is tonight in Donkey Street, trotting silent with seaweed on its hooves along the cockled cobbles, past curtain fern pot, text and trinket, harmonium, holy dresser, watercolours done by hand, china dog and rosy tin tea caddy. It is night neddying among the snuggeries of babies. Look, it is night, dumbly, royally winding through coronation cherry trees, going through the graveyard of Bethsaida with winds gloved and folded and dew doffed, tumbling by the sailors' arms. Time passes. Listen, time passes. Come closer now.